And if I had to be another person to stand up, if I think after really going through this, and looking at the files and looking at the case, if I really feel that Karen Reed didn't do this and I have to be a voice that stands up and helps, I will.
We are expecting to learn more about the allegations against the girlfriend of a Boston police officer who was found unresponsive in the snow Saturday morning. I-Team sources say Karen Reed was in a relationship with John O'Keefe. She's facing charges including motor vehicle homicide and manslaughter.
We're the only ones fighting for the truth of what happened to John O'Keefe. And me and my family and my attorneys and my team have marshaled every resource to get to the truth. It just feels like no one else wants it.
Just to be clear, you didn't do it.
We know who did it, Steve. We know. And we know who spearheaded this cover-up. You all know.
And no, she didn't do it. No, she didn't do it. This is an innocent woman. She didn't do it.
I tried to save his life.
Yeah.
I tried to save his life at 6 in the morning. I was covered in his blood. I was the only one trying to save his life.
Why'd you admit to it?
She didn't admit to it. She didn't admit to anything close to that. Nothing close to that. And you should know that.
That was like 3 or 4 times she admitted to it.
No, she didn't.
That's not true.
She asked a question. She asked a question, which is very different. She didn't admit to anything.
I'm going to tell you one thing. Karen Reed's not going to fold. Karen Reed's not going to give up. Defense team's not going to quit. The Free Karen Reed movement is going to continue. We will continue to raise funds for her. We will continue to do standouts across Massachusetts, across the nation, across the world to let everybody know what's going on here in the state of Massachusetts, the corruption. And we will continue to get the word out there. Believe me. Believe me. All right. Welcome in, everybody, to the LTL Super Sunday Show. Look, we got some guests in the studio today. Nice to see everybody. Lauren DC, of course, my co-host, and Meredith O'Neill is with us today. Welcome in, ladies.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is awesome. Now we can actually see people here inside the studio.
Great to
Lauren,
be here.
Yeah, Lauren and I were scrunched in this small table for so long, and now we have the capability.
I don't feel like I'm gonna hit you with my elbows
we have
anymore.
elbow room now, which has been really cool. So good to see everybody here. Let's see. We got a lot of people in here and checking in. Says good morning. We have Cindy in here, longtime member and subscriber here on LTL Media. I appreciate that. Goodman's in the chat. Good to see you. Nana's here. Good morning. Becky. We got Cindy, proud to be an LTL member. But listen, we're going to have some fun today. And Meredith actually reached out to me, I don't know, about a week and a half ago and said, let's do a Karen Reed fundraiser. And I said, let's do it. Yeah. So I know that we've had this, if you want to show everybody, we can show everybody the photo. This is what we're going to actually raffle off today. For giveaway. Our giveaway. No raffles. I'm sorry, but this is our giveaway. And if you want to tell everybody about it, Meredith, please do.
This is Karen's mugshot, obviously, which is an awesome, badass mugshot, by the way. I feel like if I had cop show at my house, not expected it would be not pretty, but so. Obviously, a lot of people have seen this. A lot of the trolls shared it. They were so excited to kind of make fun of her with this when it first came out. But it's kind of become a symbol of strength. That when David Inetti tweeted about it, saying, I think his quote was like, "She is strong and beautiful and not afraid," or something like that. And
defiant. Really, I think
nice picture. I kind of just added a Free Karen Reed logo at the top, and I've had a few of these printed, and Karen has signed it. So I have a few more. This one's kind of just the model one I use for shows, but so you'll get a brand new one signed by her and framed. And I think we're doing, so it's $10 an entry to a defense fund or 3 for $25. We've raised $2,200 so far before the show, so hoping to raise a little bit more.
Yeah, and what you can do is the link is it's pinned to the top of the chat, and if you can click on that link, what you want to do so we can track the donations is you can put LTL. You could put poster or Meredith, something identifying that you've watched the show today.
Yeah.
And right now we're currently at
$2,200 before
$2,200
started. So.
I mean, that's awesome. $2,200. Nana checking in. We can do this. A million, everyone. It is very close to $1 million. Right now, Karen Reed's Defense Fund is $983,727. And I think we have a major opportunity. Maybe we could hit the $1 million mark today, which would be really good. Meredith, so, welcome in. First time in the studio. Lauren, and I really appreciate you coming in and doing the show with us.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about, who you are? I know you are part of the Canton 9, and tell a little bit of, everybody about your story of how you got involved in all this.
Yeah, so my name is Meredith O'Neill. I grew
gonna
up in
push this
Milton,
up.
pretty close to Canton. I didn't really know much about Canton other than the hillside where my parents went a lot growing up. I grew up in Milton, pretty close to this. I hadn't really heard anything bad about Canton until this case, to be honest. I'd followed Aiden on and off for years. Like, he had written a few stories about people in my town, and that's kind of how I heard of him. But I wasn't like, I would never watch his show really before this case. Was following it though, was just really drawn to it because I'd been into true crime before. And then just once I started reading about this, I just couldn't stop. And I eventually started attending standouts. The most known one was back in November of 2023 when I, along with 8 other people who are now really good friends of mine, like the Roccos, Deanna, Bobby.
Somebody's saying move
the
to the mic if you
Braleys.
could.
Oh,
Yeah.
can't hear me.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So we were there, obviously, the day of the infamous, what we were now called the Canton 9, when we were outside of Chris Albert's pizza shop. So that was kind of how I really became more involved in it. And just as I've gotten to know Karen and her family, just like what good, genuine people they are, it's just like, I don't know how you can't.
Someone's
How
saying,
you cannot.
could you go up to the mic a little bit closer? There you go. Yeah.
Sorry, is that better?
Yeah. That's better. Yep.
Um,
You got to get right on these mics so they don't work.
yeah, kind of after just getting to know Karen and her family, just seeing what good, genuine people are, it's just how can you not support her?
Yeah. I mean, it's been a wild ride, and here we are. I mean, it's the retrial, a sham of a retrial. I mean, I think, in my personal opinion, the defense, with being through that first trial, have an amazing opportunity to use that information here in the retrial. And I think they've done a really good job of exposing all of the corruption so far and peeling back all those onion layers. And I think, like I said, I think this time around the trial's been a lot stronger.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I still, again, can't believe we're here. If you told me this time last year we would be doing this again, I wouldn't have believed it. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot for Karen, who's going through it the worst, but it's a lot. But yeah, I agree. I think it's even more fine tuned this trial. I mean, they thought they were going to bring in Hank Brennan. He was going to be, yesterday was looking at how much they've paid him already. I think it's like $230,000. And it's not even no April bill yet for the May. So it's going to they'll probably end up paying him close upwards of $750,000, I bet, when all is said and done.
Easily.
For what? And because I'll tell you, I'm not going to say anything specific about the jury, but even after the first week of me being in there, a couple days, there were 5 or 6 of them, some of the faces and reactions that they were giving. I can already tell there's enough people on that jury that, with like worst case scenario is a mistrial, there's enough that will never find her guilty, that there's they're already seeing just all the BS. And I don't think they're reacting. A lot of them aren't reacting well to Hank. Some of them are really hard to read. I haven't seen, some of them are like, it's not very clear, but there are 5 or 6 that even if some of them are eliminated with the alternates and everything, there's enough that are never gonna vote guilty.
Yeah. When I was in there I went 2 weeks ago. I remember you popped in later in the morning. And when I was in there 2 weeks ago, I mean, the trial was still really taking off. So I think we were in like day 6 or 7 at that point. So, I mean, really looking at the jury, they had their best poker faces on. You couldn't really read a lot.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, everybody's just kind of stone faced. But from what I've been hearing, and obviously, with the reporting of all the reporters that have been in there, they're talking about, and we had the instruction from Bev the other day that literally said, they you shouldn't be making comments.
Yeah,
I
I still don't know what that was about. Sue O'Connell's done a really good job. I know some people don't like her, but she's done a really good job of reporting on the jurors' reactions with Aiden not getting in the last 3 weeks.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I hope next week is like the week.
Me too. Yeah, the randomizer. You were talking about that with
randomizer.
Machado the other
He had
day.
really great luck at first.
Yeah. And now
I know, isn't it surprising? All of a sudden, you can't get in there anymore. I mean,
yeah.
John DePietro's been in there 80% of the time. You know, Jess Machado's only got in 20%. I think Aiden's only got in 20%.
Yeah.
It's just
Grant's 100%.
Grant's got 100%.
Well,
the
that's-
randomizer has picked Grant 100%.
That's frustrating because he's only gone in like one day.
Yeah.
And so
You're holding a seat.
They have like the court hearing for Jess Machado with her order with him on Tuesday. If that's renewed again, then it's like he shouldn't be able to keep taking a spot every week, because then it prevents somebody else from getting on the alternate list even. And
Exactly.
Yeah. And I made that point the other night too, when John DePietro, I'm watching the trial from home. I had a day off, so I'm watching trial from home. And John DePietro has been in there 80% of the time. And he walks in like during sidebar at like 10:30 in the morning. And I'm like, if Jess were there, she would have been there right in the morning.
Right.
I was like, if Aiden was there,
he
would have
like,
been there right in the morning.
Aiden gets like specific babysitter coverage to get his kids on the bus. He takes it seriously to get there in time. And he's just doing.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So anyway, if everybody's just coming into the chat today, I want to just let everybody know we're trying to raise some funds for Karen Reed's Defense Fund, and we're giving away this awesome signed poster, a mugshot of Karen, and sign here on the bottom says "Love Karen." And what you can do is just click on the link at the top, and if you click on that link, you can for the entries. And I'm sorry, can you just let everybody know what the entries are again?
So it's $10 each entry, or you can do 3 for $25.
Okay.
And just make sure in the comment you write something like LTL or Meredith or poster, just to make it
so we can keep tracking it.
Yeah.
Right. And then right now we're at about 2,200, I think, so far. Any donations so far?
Yeah, we just got 100 from Yvonne. Thank you very much. And then we got another 100 from GA Hello Kitty.
All right, awesome.
And there is another one that for 25 from Deborah. It doesn't say LTL or Meredith in the comment. And I know sometimes people forget. So if Deb is in the chat and you donated, can you just let us know so I can count that?
Yeah, or message me. Or
message Meredith. Yeah.
One thing too, we decided so we could keep this open for the whole show. I'm gonna just go through. I don't like to miss anybody either, and I don't want to be distracted. I didn't bring my computer to do my spreadsheet. After the show, I'm going to go through and make sure everybody's logged in my spreadsheet that I had started before the show. And I'm going to pop on your show maybe tomorrow night, just at the beginning, and spin the wheel. So tune in tomorrow night at the beginning. We'll choose the winner. I've done these before, and we've tried to close it before the show starts. So I'm not doing it, and it just doesn't work out as well. So we wanted to keep it open for the rest of the show to enter.
Yeah, of course.
Tune in tomorrow night.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be doing a show tomorrow night. I have Todd McGee, retired Mass State Police Todd McGee coming in, and then we have attorney Nan Gallagher will be live here in studio. We're really looking forward to that. That'll be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, I mean, here we are, and we heard about yesterday or the last day of trial on Friday. Hank Brennan again trying to change the timeline. Go ahead, Meredith. You can talk about that.
No,
I can see it on your face.
He just like he throws these tantrums like every little thing with the defense, and he does the same thing, not even the same thing, worse. And it's different when you're the defense versus the prosecutor. And the things that ARCA has that weren't even changing a timeline. It was literally just responding to Judd Welter's report that they got super late with the new stuff in February. He was acting like they had since December to do what they were going to do with the new ARCA responses. And he throws this tantrum over that, and then he does something even worse, and then he was such a dick too when he was like, I think the defense is confused. It's like, no.
Yeah,
bro.
I think the defense.
Nobody's confused.
Yeah. And then, it's like, because he's going to change the timeline now because things haven't worked for him in the first 17 days of the trial. So all the witnesses he brought up, Whiffen, we heard a lot about Whiffen. We heard about his report that the time doesn't line up with the text stream data. So, I mean, now they need to make excuses and try to change. And I'm outraged. I'm absolutely outraged that Bev's going to allow this.
Yeah.
She's going to allow it.
I knew it. Well, I knew the second. I was saying when this first started happening, when there's a first discussion of it with Alessi the day, I think on Thursday, I was texting Deanna, and I was like, Bev is going to do absolutely nothing. Like, watch, she's going to do nothing. And then sure enough, yesterday afternoon, right before like lunch and they were done for the day, she's like, yeah, I'm not going to not allow it. I'm not going to allow voir dire. And so basically she did everything that Hank wanted and nothing the defense wanted. Like same old. But
I always feel like it's like the defense gets like one step forward and you kind of feel like everything's starting to lean their way and they're proving everything. And then all of a sudden Bev has to throw in the monkey wrench and it takes them 3 steps back and they have to build themselves back up again.
Yeah. But at the same time, so my impression when I said earlier about the jury, that was only a week or so in. It got even more.
Yeah.
Just some of the reactions in their favor as we kept going on. And here we are now, almost at the end of the Commonwealth's case, and they still haven't proved much at all. And then we still have the defense to go. We have Proctor, assuming he's called. He has to be called. Like,
yeah, they got to get him on the stand.
And a lot of people have asked, well, if they call him, can they bring in all the texts? And yes, if you remember last year, Lally was the one who made him read all of those texts. So they could do that same thing. I mean,
yeah,
those texts have to come in.
Have to come in. What do you think so far, Lauren? How are you feeling about it?
I do think that the defense has a stronger case than they did last time. I think they're showing what they learned from trial 1.0.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also just like, I knew Bev would not do anything about it, but I was hopeful, but not surprised. But yeah, I haven't been in the courtroom to see the jurors, but I've heard a lot from people in the courtroom saying that, like you said, Meredith, there's enough jurors who clearly could never find her guilty that we will, worst case scenario, have another mistrial. But I do hope that this time it's a not guilty verdict. I think it's just so obvious. ARCA is the whole case, in my opinion, anyways. But yeah, I do feel good about it, honestly. I think we're going in a good direction.
Yeah, I mean, and just hearing the comments about the jury, and and to me, it was like when Bev had to make that instruction, I'm like,
yeah,
people are not, they're not buying this on the jury.
I think the fact that the medical examiner even was like, yeah, there was not really an evidence of a vehicle impact.
She said there was no vehicle
that
accident.
Was great.
She works for the state police, and she said that. That's
huge.
I think that's why I think that gave me a lot of hope that we're going in a not guilty verdict.
And then go ahead, Meredith.
No,
I'm sorry.
that was just great. Just that between the lack of injuries, she admitted the only lower body injuries are below his shoulders, besides the dog bites on the arm, were cracked ribs, which she said with 100% medical certainty was just from giving CPR.
Yeah,
so
just life saving.
There you go.
And then to me, the whole thing, and I get it, like
Hank
everybody
was not happy,
right? And then
and
then everybody's. I know that the other side is going to argue about, when we heard about the DNA the other day, and they talked about all the swabs. And I'm literally going, there's unknown source DNA that keeps popping up all over John's clothes. And I get it. Like, oh, he went out to a bar that night and he did this. But I'm like, they kept saying the common theme to me was 2 unknown source DNA was all over his clothes.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder who that was. Who are those 2 people?
Yeah.
Who are those 2 people? So I just found that to be another big plus for the defense. Yeah, we found out. Yep. Those are John's clothes, and there was a lot of DNA all over his clothes that is, not accounted for. And I said this the other night on my show on Friday, if this case was properly investigated and not framed, then probably if we had proper interviews, if we had proper evidence collection. Oh, and by the way, let's talk to some people inside 34 Fairview and maybe get some buccal swabs. And see where all this DNA is and who these, players are, were they involved? If their DNA is all over his clothes, it proves 1, John went inside the house, and 2, obviously something did something nefarious with him and brought him outside.
Yeah. I think too, this week, I know a lot of people thought this week has been boring or whatever, but bringing Bob Alessi on has been a game changer this trial, I think, too, with the cross-examination of some of these so-called experts. I mean, the hair thing, obviously, like, if I hear one more thing about that apparent hair on the bumper, like, even if it is John's hair, like, hair, I don't know, I shed like a golden retriever everywhere. My hair is everywhere. Like, they basically live together. It would be normal if his hair is
touched DNA,
But the way he kind of made it so clear just how absurd it was for the idea for it to be sticking to the car with all of the trips to Dighton and back to Canton, I think he's definitely been a really great addition to this.
And another thing that sticks out to me too is if Karen's taillight was hit and exploded, we know that she drove that night. She had to drive back to John's house. There was salt and sand all over the road.
Yeah.
She drove back to 34 Fairview after there was snowfall. There would be salt and sand. I mean, we're New Englanders, so we know the minute there's a flake on the ground, what are they doing? They're salting and sanding, right?
Yep.
There would have been salt and sand all inside her taillight, the taillight hub. And I'm glad that Alessi asked this the other day, because I'm like, please just ask her the question. I'm like, please ask her. And he asked the crime scene tech, Hartnett. He goes, was there salt and sand inside the taillight? And she was like, no, I didn't see any. And then when you look at the actual physical photo of it, it looks like it literally came from the factory. It's clean.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make
no
any
water
sense.
droplets, no salt and sand inside the taillight.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Makes no sense.
Makes absolutely zero sense. So, you know, if she's driving around and we know that she went back to 34 Fairview, she would have water droplets all over her car. Her car's black.
It makes sense.
A black car, it picks up everything around here. A rainstorm, a snowstorm, there's salt and sand everywhere. And the taillight is completely clean. So one, that means that the taillight didn't explode. It was cracked and it was fiddled with, you know, and I'm trying to think of my other point I was going to make. Or they cleaned this tail light before they smashed it out, and you can't clean evidence. So if everybody's just jumping in here, we're trying to do is raise some money for Karen Reed's defense fund. We're currently up to, you're doing good on the spreadsheet.
I'm trying to keep up with it. It's harder on my phone, but yeah, we yeah, I'm not just over here messing on my phone. I'm adding up donations, but yeah, we got a few. So let's read them out loud.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So Jennifer, LTL free Karen Reed from a supporter in Michigan. The world is watching. God bless you. Lauren. Oh, actually, this one does not have anything for LTL in it or Meredith. So if that was you, Lauren, just let us know in the chat.
Yeah, or send me a message after, because I'm going to go through everything on and just make sure everybody's logged and entered after the show.
And then Susan, FKR, for Meredith's fundraiser on LTL and Lauren.
Nice.
Love you guys. Keeping the reads in my thoughts always. No quit. Alice, LTL, $25. Thank you. Drew, $25. LTL Meredith, $518.25 morning show. And then Band D Goodman. Is that the Goodmans maybe?
Yep.
LTL, Karen, the world is watching. We got you $10. Thank you so much.
That's awesome.
And that's, yep, that's for the moment.
Can you add that name? Just put Ryan Tsunami.
Okay.
He's got 3 entries.
So you do it through like Venmo
so
or
he had
separate.
25.
Yeah, I'll forward the money
some
over.
People, some people like to do Venmo for me. So people messaged me, so I added them in.
So 25 for him.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 is 25. Cool.
Yeah, I'll just forward all this.
Yeah, because
money
a lot of
Okay.
at the end, just forward me, and I'll make sure they're in there.
I'll get everything together.
A lot of people have had issues with the defense site for it. It's
busy. That's why.
Sometimes when you donate, it
Thank you, Debbie.
It does something weird where it makes you think you donated, but you didn't. And
you'll get an email to confirm.
Yes, every time I do a fundraiser, so like it's not you if you're having that issue. I get like 10 people at least message me every time I do this where they're like, I think I donated, but I didn't, but you have to go continue.
Yeah.
When you pick the I'm not listed option, that usually solves it.
Yeah. Also, Lauren was an LTL donation, said longtime sub to your channel from Cleveland. Wish I lived closer. I'd be down at the courthouse any chance I could get. You all work so hard and helping Karen so much. Keep fighting. Everyone, truth will always prevail. Free Karen Reed and justice for John. Thank you, Lauren.
So much. Thanks for watching. Let's see. Rava, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. What I want to do though is try to keep everything geared towards Karen Reed's defense fund today. But thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. And I'm going to make a donation at the end of the stream anyway. I always do. So
nice.
I always do.
Also, there's an anonymous for $50. It says praying for truth and justice to prevail. # free Karen Reed. If that's you, message Meredith. If you want to stay anonymous, just message Meredith.
I can give you a number like anonymous 3 or nobody's done that so far on this. So if I always get so nervous when people I think they accidentally hit anonymous and they don't message me. So just make sure your name is in your donation. And if you did anonymous, that's fine. Just message me and let me
awesome
know.
Oh, so anyway, Mediocre Chicken Parm's asking. I was at dinner with Meredith and Jimmy on Friday night.
It was so much fun.
A little bit closer to
Sorry,
you could actually scooch into the mic. That'd be a lot better.
Oh, it was so much fun. It was Jimmy and I, and then 6 other supporters: Allison, Charlene, Chrissy Mello, Lisa Peterson, Jess Finchreed. Who am I missing? Who else was there? Look at the picture. It was so much fun though. And I made a post about this yesterday because we only kept it open for a couple days and we raised like $3,500.
That's awesome.
So I'd like to do another giveaway like that.
Cheech
yeah,
is in the chat. She's saying we had a
Allison
blast.
and Sam, Allison and Sam were there. Yeah, I think it was a lot of fun. So but yeah, we only kept it open for like 2 or 3 days and we raised like $3,500.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
So,
crazy. I'd love to get to $1 million by the end of the stream today.
That would be.
We're at 172 right now. I want to thank, let's see, America. Thank you so much for becoming a new YouTube member. I'll get this out at some point. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Anything from the chat?
I just want to say thank you to Misty for the 25, sending love and support to Karen from Hattiesburg, Missouri. FKR LTL Media / Meredith. And then Ashley, thank you for the 25. Meredith with a heart emoji. Free Karen Reed. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody. And thank you to everybody who donated this week, too. We literally, before the show even started, I think I made a post about this on Wednesday, so just a few days ago, and we'd already had $2,200 raised before the show started.
Even the show started. So we need to keep those donations coming in if you can. Let's see. I bet Carrie Roberts has a lawyer now since she's committed perjury. Kim's saying, Hollybox, thanks for the 5. Is it too late to enter? It is not too late to enter. What you need to do is go to the donation link that's pinned to the top of my chat, and it's what, $10 for 1 entry, 25 for 3.
Yep.
And what you can do is just donate there, put LTL, put Meredith, put Super Sunday Show, anything in there that's you know, a comment that you're watching the show today, and then, you know, we'll get you entered into the raffle. And the raffle tomorrow night, we're gonna raffle it off at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when I do my show tomorrow night. I have Todd McGee and Nan Gallagher be live in studio. We'll have Meredith come on. We'll spin the wheel and we'll give this away. I think it's a great little you know, memento. I think it's pretty awesome, and it's signed by Karen. So if you want to have that, it's badass.
I think I'm going to enter because I want to donate money, but also I kind of want this for myself.
I know.
I want one.
I know, it's pretty.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's really, really cool. It's really cool. So let's see. I have my questions today. Tell me about like Aiden's workflow. I'm so impressed by like he must be so busy when he prepares for shows and writes articles, and I just think it's great how fast he works, and he gets like everything out in a timely manner, and he makes sure that like he's sourcing his material and checking his sources. What's that process like? Do you ever sit and just watch him do? Is it nuts? Like, is it like what is it like?
It's definitely all over the place. And sometimes he doesn't do anything to prepare for shows. Sometimes he does, like, we'll do timestamps for if it's like a lot of stuff to try on. Sometimes I'll help with that, but most of the time he just wings it, and it's
so awesome. Like I have like he must be like probably like me, just thinking about stuff all day. I don't know. Does he write notes or anything or write anything down?
No, and I tell him over and over again to do a to-do list. So I basically have a to-do list, a note in my phone of like things to remind him to do. I mean, he's pulled in a million different directions. First of all, and foremost, he's a dad with 2 kids, and that's like his biggest priority. But then also just between reporting, writing stories, doing his show, and then his own like legal stuff takes up a lot of time. Like, a lot. And it's hard. Like it feels like every week it's something. I mean, a couple weeks ago, I'm trying to last minute surprise bail revocation. I remember it. I was in court with Karen's family in her hearing, and my watch kept going off, like ding, 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 and I had a bad feeling, but sometimes it's just a group chat. And then I get out for the lunch break, and it's like, they're filing a bail revocation motion. And I had planned on going back into court that day for Karen's, because his hearing was supposed to be a 15-minute in and out. And I was going to go sit in for that and then go back into Karen's. And we ended up being there till 4:30 in the afternoon with this surprise bail revocation thing over something he said about Brian Tully. And it's just... it's every week it's something. And then this past week we're sitting in Worcester Superior Court about to go in for his defamation lawsuit. He's suing somebody, by the way, if you I won't go into detail. With Lindsay. And we see tweets out, 2 new charges for
I saw that, and everybody's
for
freaking
like
out.
30 seconds and then he saw my face. He's like, what? He was like, did the motion to dismiss get tonight? I was like, no. And I didn't want to tell him, and like, I thought it was like supposedly the shooting charges. And then I looked on mass courts, and then I'm like, Phew, it says March 4th and it's Chris out. It's like the window intimidate. I was like, they literally just like, we were like laughing. They held a grand jury for this and
do it again.
Indicted him on. Like, imagine, like, everybody should be outraged that they spent the resources to have Cosgrove go in and have like hold a grand jury. I'm sure Tully was there all day for window, like talking to a window with nobody in it. Like, that's witness intimidation.
Being goofy. Yeah. I remember when I saw some posts about that, I was so confused and I texted Brian and I was like, what does this mean? Do you know? And we were both kind of confused for a few minutes and we had no idea what was going on. That was
Twitter was going nuts.
It was
X. Yeah. X was going nuts. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm at work and she's texting me like, what's going on with Aiden? Did they arrest him? Like, what's going on?
You were like,
I don't know. I'm at work.
It was literally right before we were supposed to go in for this hearing, and we realized it was fine. It was nothing. But then my watch was going off, so I stepped out. I made a tweet. I was like, everything's okay. Like, he's not arrested. People are asking if he's arrested, and apparently Blair was like on his show, and he was like worried, and because nobody was hearing from him either, because we were in court. So I was like, it's fine. No, he's not arrested.
Yeah.
It's like this is every week, and it's just. It's a lot like on him, and I could just see how stressed out it makes him and how much anxiety. Like, it's scary thinking about being like, they'll do anything to try and send him back to jail, especially with the trial going on right now. It's just insane, and it sucks. Like, obviously when somebody you love is like in just constant panic, it's just
I mean, sometimes you must just feel like I don't even want to leave the house. Like, you know, it's just, but you've got to live your life too. So I mean, I get it, but it's just he's had to tone things down a lot and be careful. And it's just, I mean, the Tully thing too. It's like when he said that, I heard it. I was like, in my head, I was like, yeah, you didn't need to say that. But I never in my wildest dreams thought they'd actually try to use that. I figured, okay, Cosgrove, I'm sure he'll mention it anecdotally to try and piss off whoever the new judge is, because we were supposed to have a new judge rotating on the case. I was like, worst case, he's just gonna say it in court as like another like vile thing he's saying, and just it won't give the judge a great impression of him. But I never in my wildest dreams thought he'd actually try to use that to revoke bail. Like, you're allowed to be happy if somebody were to die in a fire. Like, you're allowed to feel that way.
It's not against
the law. After what Cosgrove did on April 30th, like, am I gonna say I'd be very sad if he got killed in a fire tomorrow? Like, no. You're allowed to feel that way. Like, it doesn't mean you're telling people to do that. Doesn't mean I would.
He's not responsible for what other people do based on his speech either. You know what I mean? He can say what he feels. And I'm sure a lot of other people feel exactly the same way. Yeah. And it's unfortunate because, like, even if he's not doing anything wrong and he's not breaking the law, he still has to be so careful because they want to twist anything that they possibly can and use it against him. It's so unfortunate.
It's you know, I and listen, I'm a big music buff, and a lot of this shit happened like in the 80s and 90s with like heavy metal bands. They would like sing about stuff, and then kids would go out and like do it. And there was like big White House meetings about this, like censorship. And they're like, look, I'm just singing about something. I'm not fucking telling someone to go do it. And like, it just turned into a big nothing because it's free speech. We have the right to be on these platforms and say what we want. I mean, it's not necessarily like I'm telling you to go do that, but if I have an opinion about something, I can say it.
Yeah. Honestly, too, it's just the most hypocritical thing. Most of the things that these anonymous trolls on the other side are doing and saying on Twitter is like a million times worse than anything he said. Like, just the way they go after people's families and their kids. And I mean, like, a perfect example is when Grant Savellis' dad died last week. If you see the comments on his post about it, it's all people on our side, and there's even they don't agree with him. And like, I have a lot of problems with a lot of things he said. I said, sorry for your loss, Grant. Same thing. Everybody on our side. I didn't see one hateful comment about anything. Like, Aiden's mom dies. I'm not even going to repeat some of the things that were said about his mom and his family. It's disgusting. Like, when my uncle was killed, everybody on that side was like, she deserves it for supporting Karen Reed, and free Lauren Mullins. They were saying about the girl who literally was like on surveillance video driving and killing my uncle, like in a busy street in Cambridge. Thank you. It's like trying to make it a joke, like, oh, maybe Lauren was framed. Like, no, this was like on a busy street in Cambridge, and
she has a history of it.
Major fucking history.
I know, that was a wild thing when
you dug into that.
I dug into that.
You did a good job on that, by the way.
I could not believe what I was finding. It was like I looked it up. I found the case on Mass Court, saw her name, and then went down a rabbit hole with.
And you found
all
a
of our
lot of
other
shit out about
cases,
her.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry about your uncle. Like, that's just, I remember when I read about that, I was horrible. And it's like, I just, we don't stoop to their level. Like you said,
No.
you said that you were sorry to Grant. And then that was not the case for when Aiden's mother died. Like, we don't stoop to their level. We don't do that type of stuff. And, yeah. And I mean, like you said, Lauren had that long history. Like, who's framing her? It's on camera. Like, people can just be so cruel. Like Mr. Reed said, he's seen the best in humanity and the worst in humanity. And I think FKR really encompasses the best of humanity, honestly. And their
100%.
side, the other side encompasses the worst.
The worst. Yep. I got a question here from Olaf, the Russian meathead. $2 says, "What are the ladies' hobbies outside the case?" I don't know, Lauren, if you want to go first.
Oh, okay. Well, I just like to hang out, like with my friends. We go for walks.
You travel a lot too, though.
I do travel
Travels
a lot. It's funny. Like, I was telling someone the other day, I'm like, I have a lot of friends, but you wouldn't know it.
They're all over the
because
place.
they're all over the country. So I don't get to hang out with people very often. So I'm always on a plane flying to California or Florida or something like that. But yeah, I really enjoy traveling. I like to play The Sims. After all,
do you really? I don't even know that.
You don't?
No,
I'm
you
a
never
big
told me that.
Sims fan.
Oh gosh.
I'm actually looking to upgrade my computer soon so I can
Oh
add
my
more
gosh.
mods. But that's kind of
That's awesome.
I'm such a little nerd like that. But yeah, so just like stuff like that and chilling at home and my animals and stuff like that.
Being on the podcast.
Yeah, that's true. This is one of my hobbies
Yeah.
now too. Yeah,
Being on the
exactly. Going to
podcast.
standouts and just FKR stuff in general. So yeah, that's what my life
What do
looks
you
like.
like doing outside?
well, first of all, I'm a mom. I have
Yeah.
a daughter, Allison, who just turned 15 last month. So
That's awesome.
that's my main priority.
Yep.
I mean, I have a full-time job. I'm a CPA, so that takes up a lot of my week. But spending time with my daughter and our 3 kittens, well, who are almost cats now. But she plays softball and I coach her team. Well, this spring is the first spring not coaching her because she's in high school now on the freshman team. But summer softball is starting like next month, and I'll be coaching that. So that takes up a lot of my time. I don't know,
Yeah.
I like to work out a lot. I live in South Boston, so I like to go running near the beach a lot, which is good. Hanging out with friends. It's like, I don't know, like some hobbies. I used to do a lot of like do-it-yourself projects, which I started during COVID and I haven't done in a while, which I'd like to get back into doing when I have time. But it's just, I feel like with work and court all the time, and it's like,
Takes
but
away
this,
from
I say
everything.
this like every week, Jade. I'm like, I can't wait till like the day we're not like in denim every like other day. Like,
Yeah.
It's just,
It's funny. I said to Lauren last week, because I work full time as well, and then I do this so much more than full time hours.
Mhm.
And I said, like on Sundays when I come here to get ready for our show, it literally feels like maybe the hour they get here before just to kind of sit.
Mhm.
And I'm like, that's the only time like I've been feeling lately I can actually be like Brian for once.
Yeah. Just be
And then
fine.
like I'll just be sitting here and then all of a sudden my phone's like messages and I'm like, I'm trying to wind down right now. Like it gets
Yeah.
overwhelming sometimes. It's a lot. It really is a lot. And like you got to take a break sometimes.
Mhm.
But,
Yeah, definitely. I work
Yeah.
full time too. So between that and, just life in general.
yeah, working
is
during the day.
being
and
an
then if,
adult.
like new court documents come out, then I'll spend like at least a couple hours like
Mhm.
reading or like analyze if like a lot. There's not as many now that the trial's going on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Catching up on the trial because I can't
Exactly.
listen all day when
Same.
I'm working. I have it on the background because I work it from home, luckily, but I can't like pay as much attention. So catching
Yeah.
up on that. I right now like don't have a lot of time for
Yeah.
much else outside of work and
Exactly.
family.
Yeah. It's tough. I spend a lot of time after work catching up on the day as well because I can't really be listening to stuff like that during my work day. So yeah, it takes up a lot of time just catching up on the day and all the testimony so I can stay up to date on what's going on.
Thank God for X.
Literally.
Well, you work in a
thank you.
school too, right?
I do. That's why I
so it's
can't.
like you can't have it on at all. Like I will
Yeah.
have it on in the background, but when I'm just like in spreadsheets and stuff, I'm like half paying attention
Yeah.
unless it's something good. Especially this past week when it was all the expert stuff. It was
Yeah.
just hard to.
I listen on my like lunch break, but that's only like an hour. So that I
Yeah.
can't get too caught up during that. But yeah, I can't really listen during the day.
Yeah.
So full-time job just keeping up.
For me, it's like, I work and my hours are all over the place. So sometimes I can't watch trial like both of you all day long.
Yeah.
I might get lucky enough where I can like slide my phone in my pocket and put an
Mhm.
earbud in and
Yeah.
just listen. Or what I love to do too is like, if I didn't watch any testimony, Lauren Crime does a great job. Well, they'll just cut out the really important sections of trial. And like how I'll prepare for shows, I'll go back, watch some of those, and then you know, source articles, and I'll just get all my notes together and then just go through that. So it's tough sometimes. I mean, if you're not doing this full time and you're not on it all full time and you're trying to do this full time on top of all the other stuff you do full time, it can get crazy. Norman Corey, $5 checking in, said, how can the audio that is clearly obtained illegally be used in court cases against Turtleboy? Where is the investigation for Chris Albert's illegal wiretapping? You can probably speak a little bit more to that if you can.
Yeah, I mean, a whole lot of absolutely nothing has been done about that investigation. So it's definitely something that I think behind the scenes is going to be followed up on. I've heard there is some kind of workaround of being able to use those in proceedings, even if it was recorded illegally. So TBD what will happen with that. But honestly, I still can't believe they held a grand jury for it. And I looked forward to seeing what exactly was said, because it's probably a lot of the same lies that were told at the first one to get him indicted in the first place. And we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how Doolin rules on the motion to dismiss, which has been outstanding for a couple months now. I mean, my guess, if he dismisses the original ones with Chris and Colin, I would imagine that it would be really easy to get rid of these new window ones, because they're even more. I mean, they weren't even there. Like,
wasn't Aiden saying, I think on one of his shows or two shows before that, or it might have been in a tweet, and I'm sorry, I apologize, but wasn't he saying that because of the recent charges with the window camera incident, he leaves it to believe that Colin and Chris testified in front of a grand jury? Did I get that right? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, I mean, they must have to get these indicted. Yeah.
And it's funny because here's even a funnier thing, and I shared this with Aiden. I think I might have shared it with you. When that whole incident happened, I FOIA request the police report through the Canton PD, thinking that naturally Chris would have went to the Canton PD. No, he picked up the bat phone and called Morrissey's office directly. And I shared that because I got an email back from Canton PD, and they're like, oh no, there was never, and who knows, maybe they weren't going to share it with me, but they were like, it was never filed through Canton PD.
No,
it went direct to the DA's office.
Directly to Tully. So the next morning already, when they, like, I've never seen charges filed this quickly. It was literally like by 9 or 10 the next morning. It was on the docket at Stoughton District Court, and Tully's police report was there, and he spoke with Chris at like 8 in the morning the next day, wrote up his whole thing, and he wanted an arrest warrant issued for Aiden, and he was like, I know he's going to be at court for his motion to dismiss.
So they wanted to do it there in front of everybody. Like, of course,
that day, I saw there were so many more troopers there at court than usual, and I was like, this can't be happening again.
That's where they wanted to do it, in front of the cameras, in front of the crowd. Hank the Great Pandora Brennan, $2. Thank you so much. Says, can't wait for the ARCA Truth Cannon. I mean, that's what this comes down to, is every single time all these people that come at me, I just literally just write ARCA and I just put a period, because that's just wait. I mean, and we just found out in the argument on Friday, because I was always wondering, did ARCA do submit new reports, or did they come up with any type of demonstration? And actually, Robert Alessi said they did in court the other day. So I can't wait to see what they're going to bring to court.
I think most of that is in response to Judd Welcher's.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was like what was the big debate about what Auntie Bev was going to allow in, was responses to Judd Welcher's report.
Okay. Yeah.
That was what the new stuff was that Hank was saying. He was like, we can't let any of this new stuff in, but it wasn't really that new, and it wasn't really that late, considering they didn't get Judd's full report until February. So it really wasn't.
Okay. Yeah.
And they were still, I think, making changes to it in March. So that's what I think the new stuff is. It's in response to hit the Aperture stuff.
Got it. Not Haley Walbrook checking in. Good to see you, Jason. Jason's been on the show quite a few times. I love Jason. He's awesome.
Jason.
He's so smart about everything and puts all this together. It was funny. Yeah. I've had him on the show a couple times, and literally Nan Gallagher asked me, she's like, is he a lawyer? Like,
very smart.
Has he have like a law degree? He's very, very smart. I love him having him on the show. And Jason, we got to do something again soon. Lindsay Gattani says, Lindsay Gattani recorded her threat to MB and took months to get charges.
That's true. Really quick. If your name is Emmy or Laura and you donated, can you just either in the chat or message Meredith to let us know that that was towards the poster entry? We don't want to miss anybody. And also, if you are anonymous, please let Meredith know so that we can count your entries.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
How's the spreadsheet going?
Good. We got a lot of people so far. Let's see. Misty, thank you for the 25. Ashley, thank you for the 25. Marlene for the 50. Law Nerd Amber, 25. Lori, 25. Julie R, 25. Michael, 25. Alex, 25. Holly, 50. Kara, 25. And Ginger, thank you for the 100, guys. It's a lot to keep up with.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
Just for
you
the
so
sake of
much.
time, I'm not going to read all of the comments because some of them are kind of long, but I do want to at least say your name and thank you for your contribution.
So let me ask you this. What do you think is like one of the things is like one of the biggest misconceptions about Aiden? Like that, you know, like you hear like the media coverage, but we all know as, you know, his fans and supporters of who he is, if there's any, like, what would you say is like one of the best, one of the biggest misconceptions about him?
I mean, this is mostly coming from the other side. People just say that he's like a dick, kind of like, and just vengeful, but that's not who he is at all. Especially the last couple of years, I feel like he's really matured emotionally, where he's kind of like prayers, like, do I really need to have a meltdown over this? Do I need to go after this person? This, like, is it worth it? And like, because he's really, his time is valuable. I mean, he has so much going on, so he's gonna pick and choose what like bigger fish to fry is what I tell him. Like, like who cares what this person says? But he's not. He's fair, and like, we don't have to go into her name, but somebody who went after him in December, like unprovoked. I think he handled it really maturely and wasn't vengeful, wasn't like, I've seen so many people too who had stories written about him in the past who have apologized and said, like, really shown they've turned their life around and they've reached out to him and he's taken the story down. Like, he's not a mean person. He's fair, and
I've always had very pleasant interactions. Like, he comes up, he's like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" You know, or, you know, and how's everything going? And I've never had an issue.
People who like screw with him. And
I think if you cross him, he gets you in the crosshairs.
His livelihood, obviously, like, I would react similarly.
Yeah.
So
Laura checking in, she says he's calmed down a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure he has had to learn to pick his battles. You know, his time is valuable and limited. So
yeah. I agree. But yeah, I mean, I've always had very pleasant, and then, you know, having the opportunity of, you know, helping him out on his show when he was away, and you know, doing some shows to just keep content going on his channel, and he was very appreciative of that.
Yeah, that was so nice of you guys.
Yeah, I like, my whole thing was like, dude, this is the guy that sprung this whole thing open, and they're trying to shut him down and put him away, and like, we have an opportunity to kind of like, you know, keep the torch burning here, but like, we can't let his audience down. So, you know, like I said, I you know, had the opportunity. I reached out to Laura. We got the approval from Aiden to do it, and her and I really worked on the shows and really put this together. And it was funny because, like, you know, by that first show, everybody fucking hated me. They're like, "Get off this channel."
No.
Yeah, I mean, it was like,
people are so mean to you, and it's like,
I think
free
they
BLT.
They really are
like,
so
free
mean to you
BLT.
sometimes.
Yeah.
It's unwarranted.
So it was like,
the nicest guy.
it was like
seriously.
that. No, like,
Can I
I'm
say,
just
though,
saying, like, they hate.
You raise so much money for Karen, and like, you donate your own money to her frequently, like an Aiden too, and it's like, I just don't. Why do people feel the need to be such like? Okay, you can just not like a show and not watch it without announcing it and saying how awful he is. Like, just, it's not like, I don't know, anybody who's not like actively spreading misinformation or just being like going after others. Like, why do you, like, other than that, what's the point of going, like,
and then it was like, it was cool because
like, grown adults too.
No, but it was cool because, like, at the end, like, everybody kind of came around, and it was a good feeling, and and I just literally wanted, you can't have the most powerful channel that is talking about this case go dead. Like, you can't do that. And like, we needed to give them something, and it might have not been the material they were looking for, but I think that we did a good job, and we had Will on, and I know Rita came on, and we just wanted to keep stuff going, and you know, we had the opportunity to do that.
No, it was awesome. And I remember being on the phone with him when he was in jail and playing it and stuff, and just how appreciative he was.
And you know, like, we just, like I said, I just wanted to keep things going for him. You can't
Yeah.
shut that channel down. Like it's too informative.
I
so.
remember one of them you did. It was like his greatest hits. It was like
Yeah.
old things, and some of them I hadn't even heard. I was on the phone with them. I was like, "You did that?"
Yeah,
Like,
I know. Yeah, the BLT hate is just unwarranted. It really is.
yes, and not even from like then, but even like recently. Since
Everyone.
I made a tweet about it when that like a couple months ago or something.
I remember,
You were being
yeah.
so mean. I was just
It is
free
what it is.
BLT.
Free
It is
BLT.
what it is. It is what it is. You
Really
wanna update?
quick. Yeah, I like made a face a minute ago because I was like, whoa,
Whoa.
David Woodworth,
Whoa.
a big $1,000.
donation.
Thank you so
David.
much,
Right.
David.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, from Cincinnati. So free Karen Reed and free Turtleboy from Cincinnati. Thank
That's
you so
awesome.
much.
Thank
yeah.
you so
Wow.
much for the $1,000.
Yeah.
To 4,000
donation.
then that we
I
raised
love
for
getting
this
super
now.
close.
If you
Yeah.
want to show everybody again and talk about the entries, I'm gonna let everybody know.
Okay.
I'm gonna let everybody know. The link is at the top of the chat. If you want to donate, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna step out for like 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Lauren. Take over the hosting.
No, you, oh my God.
I never do this. I have to go.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to just show everybody
Sure.
real
So
quick?
yeah, if anybody hasn't seen it, this is a poster. It's of Karen's mugshot when she was arrested. As I've said before, like I would not look this good at all if I had cops show up at my house without any
Same.
notice, without makeup on. She looks amazing. It's something when the trolls found this
Yeah.
like last year, they were all excited. They were making fun of it, and
It's a great shot.
I think
though.
I just
She's
love how she owned it. I think one of the first responses was from David Unetti and just saying she's like
I think
strong,
defiant or something like
defiant.
that.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but she just owned it, and
She's
just-
like, she's just staying so
and
strong.
I'm
through
sure
it all.
like there when this was taken, she would have she had no idea at the time what everything that was going to happen to her
No.
in the next 3 years. And this was from February 2022, and
Yeah.
it's just so it's become kind of just a really iconic photo, and it's signed by her and framed. This it'll be new, and I have a few of them, so this is just kind of like the model one for
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah. That's awesome. I think it's
Yeah.
a great shot of her.
Yeah, and if you want to try to win this, go to you can just type in freekarenreed.net, and I think it's linked in the chat. So it's $10 per entry, or for three, $25. So
Yeah. But yeah, thank you so far to everybody. We're really close to what you said, 4,000, something like that. We're
I'm
already
just guessing in my head from you've been reading them. So we were
The
at
math.
$2,200 before the show even started, and you were just kind of reading off some
Yeah.
of the big ones.
Mhm.
Just I don't know, I did a little mental math. I think I wouldn't be
And now we
surprised
got
if we're
the-
over 4,000. Yeah.
the big one from
So,
David. Thank
We're
you.
gonna leave it open through the end of the show, and I'm good just because I don't want to be trying to do this during the show and adding them and be distracted, and I don't want to miss
Yeah.
anybody. So I'll go through the defense fundraiser page after the show and log everybody, and then tomorrow night on Brian's show at the very beginning, I think it's at 8:00 tomorrow, right?
Yeah. 8:00 tomorrow.
8:00 with Nan. I'm gonna pop on after accumulating all the names and spin the wheel and choose the winner. So be sure to tune in. And if you're not watching, don't worry. If as long as your name was in there, I will be able to contact you. I think a few people have done Venmo, so make sure you reach out and send me a screenshot. I'm on Twitter or Facebook. I posted this giveaway in the Justice group. So
Yeah.
or Brian or Lauren, somebody will get it to me.
Yeah, definitely. We'll make sure everybody's entry is counted. But if you want to stay anonymous, just message Meredith. Or if you forget to put LTL or Meredith or poster in your comment in the donation, we just want to make sure nobody gets missed. So try to remember to put that in your comment as well, so we know.
Yeah.
And if you forget, just reach out.
Let's see. Haley saying that's amazing. Thank you. Jason in the chat says another successful fundraiser. Thank you all so much for what you do. I completely agree. Kim saying Karen Reed is a beautiful warrior. She is. She's a warrior. And that's what I loved about this. You know, a lot of people were talking. I saw a lot of chatter in the Justice group and some of the other, the Only Boy, Turtle Only Boy fans. And they're like, you know, they're asking like, oh, you know, at this point, can Karen take a plea deal? Like, why the fuck would Karen take a plea deal?
That's crazy.
And, you know, if you actually go back to the Vanity Fair article from December, they came to her and said, do 2.5 years and you can essentially just walk out of this. And she's like, I'm not going to take a plea deal for something that I didn't do.
Yeah.
And that tells me, you know, that was another thing for me that confirmed all of this, that she has absolutely nothing to do with this. And I've said this from day one. The biggest critical piece of evidence in my mind is that fucking camera across the street. If you wanted to nail Karen Reed down to this, then where's the video?
Yeah.
That would be the case right there.
Didn't they say at the very beginning, and then we haven't heard about it since, that they had her
There
on
was
camera?
there was a report by
Yeah.
WBZ, I think, put a report out
that it
immediately
was
and
on
said
camera hitting
there
him.
was camera footage, and then they retracted the statement,
Yeah.
which
They
is
retracted it, like,
fucking
they
weird.
retracted it like less than a year ago. It was recently that they did it because it was called out so much by Aiden.
Yeah.
Howie Carr like talks about that a lot. He
Yeah.
was
Mhm.
recently talking about that, how it was
Yeah.
just a few months ago that they finally removed that from their online
Yeah.
article.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
But-
quick, Meredith, how can people contact you if they don't have Facebook to let you know about their entry?
I'm also on Twitter at Meredith O'Neill, MEREDITHONEIL,
Okay.
Yeah, you can find it there.
or Brian's email, or
Oh, yeah. Or email
if
Brian.
he'll get it to me.
It's a LTL media podcast at gmail.com, something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, if you do it
Maybe.
anonymously on purpose
I don't
and you
even
want
know
to
what my
stay
email
anonymous,
address
I can
is.
just assign you a number.
I'll put the email into the chat. You can email Brian. There you go. Should come up.
What is my email?
Let's Talk Live podcast
Thank
at
you.
Gmail. Yep.
Let's Talk Live podcast.
I
at
was right.
Gmail. I always forget.
But yeah, so email, if you don't have, like, you know, I know some people don't have their social medias and stuff. Email Brian and we'll get your entry logged.
Let me do a couple of super chats here. Again, I'm going to make a donation at the end of the stream too.
Yeah,
so,
I'm going to do my donation.
this is an amazing best way to definitely eat this corruption donation. Thank you so much. Kelly R. $10 says the studio is really nice. Good job. And yeah, the desk is incredible. Thank you. I appreciate it. If anybody's looking for one, they're handmade out of Wichita, Kansas. And you can go to, let's see.
I know, I feel so bad. I put my cup down with
That's
this.
okay.
But
No.
luckily, though, this isn't wet. There's no
Yeah.
moisture on this.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, so it did not do any damage.
You can
but
go to
I'm so
podcast.
sorry.
No, it's fine. You can go to podcasttables.shop. And once the studio, because I'm going to be changing the background behind here, once that's all put together, I'm going to take some professional pictures and send it to them so they can put it on their website. So
It's really cool in here.
It's
I will
nice.
say it's
Yeah.
really official. And
It feels so
like,
professional.
You need to like show Eden how to not make his face pink.
I was watching that last
No,
night.
Oh, his face got pink last
totally,
night?
it's totally it's a lighting issue.
Yeah.
So most nights when he's at his house, I call it mom and dad's house. So basically, this guy lives in California and just rents this house, and it used to be his parents' house. So he comes home a couple times a year and is around the house, and he's like, mom and dad's house and mom and dad's room. So I jokingly call it mom and dad's house because he talks about like his dead parents' house. But I mean, it's like a perfect situation for him though, because obviously he was just divorced and
Yeah.
he's
Mhm.
just not ready to buy a house yet. And it's
Yeah.
it's 5 minutes from where his kids live. Anyways, mom and dad's house. Mom and dad's house has some interesting things like the doll from the dolls, the infamous doll live, the demonstration, the Higgins butt dialing.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of like artifacts, like mom and dad's pictures are on the walls.
Yep.
But the lighting is really like warm, like yellowy lighting. Because whenever he's at my house and I have all like cool lighting, it's never pink like that.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a lighting issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, he looks really toasted.
Tsunami, $2 says, what beverage is in the huge Stanley?
Just water, ice water. I know. I don't like putting like coffee or other stuff in Stanley's. You're not really supposed to wash in the dishwasher, and then they just.
Oh,
like,
this is a good question.
I like-
Kaylee C's paralegal. Thanks for the $5. Says, Meredith, what was your first date with Aiden? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. And she said, thanks for the great show. Free Karen Reed.
Super, super, super quick though.
Yeah.
Guys, in your comments, do not write raffle. It's not a raffle. It's a giveaway.
Yeah.
So just really quick. Thank
Just
you.
put LTL.
Yeah.
That's
or
all you gotta
Meredith
do.
or
Just,
poster.
just
or
put
something.
LTL. It makes it a lot easier.
First date. So I mean, obviously we saw each other and spent time together right when he was out of jail. But then like the weekend after we went out to dinner. It was actually like a belated birthday dinner because his birthday was like he spent in
In
jail.
jail.
So
yeah.
I took him out to dinner. We went out first actually in Southie for drinks with like Bobby and Deanna, and then we went to dinner at Strega down in the seaport, which
Mhm.
somehow the trolls found out about because they started like posting about us, not pictures, but they were like,
Yeah.
it's actually funny at the time. Christy Citroni, who was not before Christy flipped back to our side.
Yes.
Mhm.
She was posting about us being spotted in Strega and stuff. And so, yeah, we just went out for a dinner and then got drinks and stuff back in Southie before going back to my house. So I think that was like we hung out like when he first got out, but that was like, I guess, what I'd consider like a date.
Yeah. I think I remember, like, I know the day he got out, and like, obviously I knew you guys were talking, and I think you were with him the day he got out, and he was like trying to hold the camera off, like when he was living. Were you with him that day?
Yeah, I drove him back.
And he's like trying to hold the camera.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's funny. He's not really many people. We really like did not want to tell.
He's very
like, a lot of
quiet
because like literally he was just in jail and like just wanted to like not have the trolls go after it for like a while. But then February 26th, like the thing that we were in court for on Friday, like happened where Lindsay walked into court with her restraining order and we walked. So we're on camera walking out together and everybody's like,
there it is.
Everybody just knew. It was like, all right, the cat's out of the bag. But
yeah. So what we're doing today, if anybody's just joining in, or if you want to get involved, there's a link at the top of that's for Karen Reed's Defense Fund link, and you can click on that link and make a donation. We're giving away a signed free Karen Reed mugshot photo, and Meredith's gonna hold that up there, and we're trying to raise money for Karen Reed's Defense Fund. I think right now we're up to probably close to like $4,000, which is fucking badass. And we had that huge donation that came in.
David, thank you.
From David. So thank you so much. And you can get involved, and you can just donate $10 to get you in one entry into the giveaway. Or you can give $25, and that will be for 3 entries inside the giveaway. So make sure to please put LTL in your donation. And then later on, Meredith's going to go back and update her spreadsheet. So
I'm writing everyone's names down as they come in and keeping track. So
right. The defense fund right now is currently at $986,187. So it's very close to the $1 million mark. I think it'd be really badass if we could get that by the, I don't know, middle Wednesday would be great. By Wednesday to $1 million would be friggin' phenomenal.
We can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So has your opinion about law enforcement changed?
I mean, yes and no, but I think again, like I was pretty pro police before this, and I would say I still am, and I feel bad when I see some of the good ones out there, and I think like it's hard. I mean, a few of them have just made the rest of them look bad, but I think a lot are afraid to speak up. Like I'm talking specifically about like the state police. I think I see just some of the looks on their faces, like at court some days, and it's just, I don't know, they look defeated just because I think a few like Yuri and Tully and Proctor have made like the entire Mass City Police look bad.
Look really bad.
They did. A few bad apples can spoil the bunch if you don't hold those apples accountable. You really have to. I feel the same way. Like I grew up in a law enforcement family. And it, I just think that we really need to call out the corruption when it's there, because accountability is what will keep people trusting the law enforcement, is when they hold their own accountable. That I think that's really important.
Yeah, my opinion has changed. I mean, I'm very pro police as well. I don't want to be like, I'm not like a backer of the blue, but I think there are, and I've said this before too, with Todd McGee being on my show, I think there are great, good law enforcement people out there like Todd that just went in and did his job and served the public and didn't get wrapped up in corruption and called people out from when they were doing bad shit, and he's like, it's not going to happen in front of me, and just took care of his business and upheld the badge correctly. And I think there is a lot today with a lot of major corruption that goes on. And I think just shit didn't get looked at for a long time. And that's why I love that, Aiden has kind of peeled back that curtain when he dropped his first story. And I always look at it as like the Wizard of Oz. Like you're not supposed to look at the wizard, but Aiden went up and just tugged on the curtain and pulled it back and said, nah, there's some shit going on here. And I think that, with doing that, and opening this up to everybody where you didn't see or hear about this stuff, especially here in Massachusetts, because everything is always quiet and covered up. I mean, look at all the scandals in the Mass State Police. But now having an opportunity to expose that, and I think Karen Reed's trial as shitty as she's on trial for all of this stuff, is really showing the true face of what is going on in our law enforcement in our communities. I mean, it's really opened a lot of things up. It's made me think, I'll tell you that. I'm scared at night when I drive down the road. I mean, I just got pulled over by a Rentham cop a couple of weeks ago for a ticket, and I was like nervous because I'm like, they probably know who I am.
Yeah,
I
it's
got a
funny.
ticket.
On Mother's Day, I actually got pulled over coming back from going to my parents in the Cape by a state trooper, and like Allie, my daughter, was in the back seat, and in my head, I was like, please don't like recognize, please don't know like I'm like
I am.
Yeah.
Please don't recognize.
She talks about the Karen Reed trial.
Like, like I actually had this in my front seat, and I turned it over before he came, and I was more just like, honestly, like as much as some of them don't like Karen, it's more like they hate Aiden. So I was like, please don't somehow know I'm like,
right.
Like Aiden's girlfriend.
Oh God.
Like, but no, he was super nice. He was like, you're just going a little fast, and he was like, coming back from a Mother's Day thing, because he saw my daughter in the backseat, and he was super nice, and he smiled at me. He was like, you're all set, you can go.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a ticket. But
Yeah, I wish I got that the other night. But I gotta go. This is like ridiculous. I haven't got a speed ticket in over 20 years. Okay. Yeah, I was going fast, and yeah, I got caught. But it's like the guy could have just been like, yeah, just slow it down. So now I got to waste a day out of work to go to court, try to fight the ticket, and just be like, look, like I'm going to bring my record with me and say my last speeding ticket was in like 1999.
Yeah, Aiden got a speeding ticket in Southie coming to me like probably like a month or two ago, and he was gonna appeal. It was $230, and he was gonna appeal it and do it, and he let it lapse, and then all of a sudden he got a thing in the mail that his license was suspended. So I like went on and I paid it and stuff, but because he had to like go to church, so you cannot be driving with suspended license. They'll like try and like arrest you and invoke your bail.
Yeah,
they will. Yeah.
So yeah, it's find something all the time. But no,
I mean, I'm just gonna go in and just be like, look, like I haven't had a speeding ticket in over 20 years.
Yeah, I would have appealed it if I got a ticket. But
yeah, of course.
He was really nice. Allie was like, he was flirting with you. But I was like, no, he was just nice.
It's funny. That's funny. I don't know. What else do I have here? My list of questions.
I have a
Go
question.
ahead.
How has your life like changed since you got involved in the movement? And like, Brian and I have talked before about all the people that we've met and would never have met without it. So like, how has your life really changed?
I mean, I met a lot of great friends through this.
Yeah,
like
me too.
Deanna, one of my best friends now, who I didn't know 3 years ago. I'm gonna be a bridesmaid in her wedding next month.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, the good outweighs the bad, some of the negativity, and I think Karen probably feels the same way. Like she's seen some of the worst people, but also some of the best, and the positivity far outweighs the negativity in this whole world of the Karen Reed case, and most of the negativity is only online and not in the real world. I mean, we see I don't think there's been any blue people outside this retrial.
Nope. People are brave behind their screens and on their keyboards and behind anonymous handles.
You just have to like remember, like when because I used to get really upset by some of the stuff that they would say, like just for being Aiden's girlfriend, just going crazy after me on Twitter, saying horrible things about my daughter. But then I just have to remember that like their life has to be miserable. That's their focus. And I mean,
I saw a video the other day, and I'm not going to give this person any credit, but they are a content creator, and it's kind of a Turtleboy arch nemesis. And they put this video about how we're all grifting and all of this, like grifters, and they're putting all our faces up on the screen. But then at the very end of the video, they're like, oh, if you want to send us money for this, making these videos, please do. And the best way to do it is buy me a coffee.
Everybody's a grifter. I call being a grifter, but I don't have like a channel or anything. The only times I do fundraisers, it's like directly to Karen's Defense Fund. I remember like Grant recently. That was what inspired one of my earlier fundraisers this year, my kitten half birthday fundraiser.
I remember that.
He like accused me and Nurse Kim of stealing money for like Nurse Kim's birthday fundraiser when, first of all, I wasn't even involved in it. I just donated to it. And all of the donations were directly on Karen's Defense Fund. Like we didn't collect any money. So like, how's anybody grifting off this? They don't make any sense. They just...
Yeah, I've had a few comments say things like, how much have you gotten paid for this? I'm like, nothing. Or they'll be like, paid actors. It's like,
I love that one too.
I've been called a paid actor, and I'm like, I'm not getting paid.
Yeah, no. like and most of us too, like if any, like you donate money, like if any, like when I do these, I pay for everything. Like the dinner with Auntie Deb that raised $3,500. Like I bought every dinner and I was happy to, because it was like, okay, I paid for a dinner, but it raised $3,500. Like, and that's how you can.
Exactly.
I always
difference,
laugh
like-
when people go, oh, and I go, okay, I'll just show you how much I donate. Look,
Yeah. I've
it
put
just goes
money into
endlessly.
this. I don't get money back, and I don't want money back.
I
Like,
don't
we're
want
doing
it.
this because it's the right thing to do.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I just always think
grifters
it's funny.
unite.
Grifters
Yeah, right.
unite. Yeah, exactly.
Better always
Better
says
I
that.
know. It's like
He's
any
always like,
opportunity
yeah.
for grifting,
Yep.
I'm in.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Nan has a shirt that says "World's Okayest Grifter" or something.
Yeah.
It's funny.
They always accuse us of what they are. Like,
Of
Yep.
course.
like,
Every
I can't tell you
They're
how,
basement
how many
dwellers.
posts I've seen. They're like, Meredith O'Neill lost custody of her child Allie, and it's like, that's never happened. She's always been in my custody. We don't have like a DCF worker like all of these people, and it's like that's like their life that they always accuse you being, and that's really the only thing that kind of upsets me. But they can say whatever they want about me and on me and Aiden and all this stuff, but it really, like, I don't know, being a mom, especially having my daughter younger, is like my greatest accomplishment in life.
Yeah.
And for them to make up these lies that she's taking from me, and she's also just turned 15, so she can see a lot of this stuff too.
She can understand it.
She's
Yeah.
like, Mom, I just want to go on and be like, you're a good mom, and like I was never taken from. I was like, no, like I'm not. You're not.
Don't
She
get
She
involved.
gets like, she sees some of the stuff the trolls do though, and she gets really like sassy. Like I remember when a couple weeks ago, I think it was JLR was in Boston, and somebody was posting my address in his show and saying to go to me, because he was saying he was going to. He was like tweeting about me, and she was like, I hope he comes. Like I like. I'm gonna,
Yeah.
I'm like, stop.
That's a
Just-
tough age,
no.
because they're online at that age and they see things.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, people just need to leave children out of it. You know what I mean? They didn't ask for
Yeah.
the attention or anything like that. So
I agree.
yeah, 15's a hard age.
You want to catch everybody up on
Yes.
donos?
So where did I leave off? Kelly with 25, Tren with 100, thank you. Sarah with 50, Amanda 100, Tiffany 20, Danielle 10, Two Doors Down Ellie 50, Beverly 25, and Kaylee 50. Thank you so much, you
Oh,
guys.
that's awesome. I'll make
Yeah.
a post later tonight once I've logged everybody with the grand total too. Of this.
Okay.
Yeah, there's been some anonymous donations too, but we'll catch up on that. Oh, and Brian just
I just donated 100,
donated
so I want to
100
get in on
too.
that too. So
all right, awesome.
Um,
But yeah, if you're anonymous, just email Brian or message Meredith, and we'll get your dono counted.
everybody's saying that big Cincinnati donation. Thank you. That
Yeah.
was
I
awesome.
know.
$1,000 today donated during the show. That's so badass.
Mhm.
We might be close to could get $5,000
I
out.
know.
This would be great.
I know, for this
Yeah, I
poster
know. That's so
Yeah.
awesome. I love it because people just care. It's so
Mhm.
cool.
They do.
It's so cool. I don't know. Any want to wrap this one up? Any last words? What we can do is just I'm gonna just announce it before we end. We got the link at the top here. If you want to donate to Karen Reed's Defense Fund, you want to just show the picture one more time. We're trying to raise funds for Karen, and it will be a giveaway for this signed mugshot photo of Karen. And tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will go live. Meredith's going to jump on. We're going to spin the wheel, and we're going to give this one away. And the way to do that is you can click on the link at the top and just put in your donation LTL, and then we'll add all these up at the end. And Meredith will do a big post and
Yeah.
let everybody know how much we raised for today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you,
Um,
everybody who donated.
yeah,
Thank you
absolutely.
for having me in here.
Yeah,
We've
you can come.
been talking about it for a while, because I feel like I've gone on a lot of people's shows, but I've never been on yours.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like I always like to try to do a fundraiser with it when I go
Mhm.
on people's shows, like just
Yeah.
not to come on and just talk about myself and be like,
Of course.
you know, I like to do it with a purpose. So
Yeah. There was one question on here that we didn't go over yet.
Go
that
ahead.
might be good. So why do you think people are so drawn to Karen's case and have been attracted to this and gotten so passionate about it? What do you think draws people in?
I think and this probably sounds cliche because it's been said so many times, because just when you learn just all of the intricacies of this and just
Mhm.
all of the missteps, it's like any of one of us this could happen to.
Yeah, if it could be
I mean,
Karen, it could be anyone. Yep.
fall in link with the wrong people who have power, and it's just all of the things that have been done wrong to her through this. It's just the definition of injustice. And,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
I mean, all of the like jaw-dropping things, like the twists and turns, is like Aiden kept writing the parts of this Canton cover-up. Then you hear more. Just when it's like every day, just when you think there can't be more,
there's something
more.
else.
There's something
It's
else.
so crazy.
Yeah.
It's
something
just,
else
again,
pops up.
Mind-boggling that not only did they try to bring this case through to one trial, but to a second. And I have no doubt, God forbid it is another mistrial, they'll do this again. They're just relentless unless somebody new is in office, especially with Morrissey there. And it's just, I'm not like that optimistic about it. I haven't really heard too much about the candidates. I mean, I've heard them from being like on the shows, but I don't hear about them on like the news a lot.
Right.
Like I don't feel like they've made enough of a presence to be able to.
And they need to.
But however, though, like Morrissey, I feel like has had such bad publicity that maybe people will just remember hearing about that and then just pick the other person when they're voting. I'm just trying to think. It's just, and I recently like did a deep dive on his like campaign fund too, and just like comparing like his fundraising events over the years, like to before, like the number of his supporters has totally dropped, like the money into total has dropped, like that he's getting. And I mean, he has such like a big amount like just left over that I don't think money is going to be an issue for him, but you can tell his support is dwindling too.
We need change. We definitely need change here in the state of Massachusetts. We need a good district attorney that's going to go in and do it by, do it the right way and really just shed all this corruption that's been in that office for so long time. That's the problem is like, is all these politicians get in and they become lifers. They don't leave until like they die or they get sick, and we don't have an opportunity to make real change in our communities. And I say this all the time. People are so worried about the national election, like who the fucking president's going to be. Yeah, that's great. Okay. But really it's in your local communities. Find out who's running your communities.
Right.
If they're doing bullshit things or there's corruption or overspending or whatever it is, get involved and get these people out and make changes for you in your community. That's the most important thing. What I wanted to do, go ahead.
I was just going to say, thank you, Clara, for the 50. And I saw a couple comments just saying that people forgot to put LTL. Just email Brian. I just put it in the chat. Email Brian and let him know that you're, you forgot to put LTL in the comment, or if you're anonymous, and we'll make sure that your donation was counted.
The anonymous ones that are like, it would be good because if you're picked, then I don't know who
you
are to reach out to.
Definitely
try to. I mean, if you donated like a 10 or 25 during this time, I'm just gonna, and you have your name, I'm gonna add them because it's pretty highly likely that it's for this.
For sure.
Exactly.
So if by the chance it wasn't, and you don't come like and reach out, if you're picked, then I can just pick somebody else. So like if as long as your name's on there, like this morning and everything, and it's a 10 or 25, it's pretty or 50 or whatever, it's pretty obvious. So it's the anonymous ones though that you can just maybe double check if you donated it. A lot of people donate anonymously by accident.
Yeah, a lot of people saying they didn't put LTL in their donation. But if you want to be anonymous,
you can reach out to me and I'll just assign you a number like anonymous 3, so if anonymous 3 is picked.
We'll get it figured out. So right now the defense link, the defense website in Karen's defense fund is 986,517. Again, it'd be really great to get close to that 15 grand by Wednesday and really put this over the top.
I think it was like 981 or 2 when we started. So that's good.
So we've raised quite a bit of funds today. I think it's gonna be awesome. Then we'll be able to spin that wheel tomorrow night. What was I gonna say? I forget what I was gonna say, but I don't know. Any last words, Lauren?
No, just thank you for coming in studio today, Meredith. It's great to have guests and get to try out the new table for the first time. And I mean, we were doing great raising money for Karen. Just want to reiterate how important it is, because Karen has lost everything as far as, her financial stability. She lost her job, her health insurance, her 401k, her house. So she really depends on people's generosity and belief in her framing that, we really rely on people's goodwill to help keep her afloat and pay for her defense and everything. So, every donation counts towards helping her fight the corruption in the state. So you're also helping her fight the corruption.
I agree. Meredith, any last words?
No, thank you guys so much for having me and setting this up. This was awesome. Every time I do one of these, I'm like just blown away by how much we raise for Karen's Defense Fund. I don't think we can raise more, and then we do. So this was awesome. And thank you everybody who donated. Really appreciate it. Thank you everybody who supports Karen and Aiden and anybody who reaches out with kind words to me and messages of support. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
It was a great show today, guys.
It was.
Yeah,
Thank
a lot
you
of fun.
and thank you. And you're welcome to come in anytime. If you want to just get on mic and rant and talk, just let us know and we'll get you in here. And this is why I wanted to build this, is because I wanted to have real people come in and sit down and tell us their stories, and I appreciate that you opened up a little bit and told us a little bit about, behind the scenes stuff, and that's really what I wanted to hear and get kind of your point of view on everything. And that's what we what we try to do is when we feature a guest to come in and do these Sunday shows with us, what we try to do here. So maybe we can get Aiden in here someday. It'd be really great to have him come in.
Yeah, just
we would
ask
love
him.
that.
He definitely will.
Yeah.
He's so thankful to you, everything you've done for him. Like, I mean, just last week you guys raised like $2,000 for his
Something like
defense
that.
fund.
Yeah.
And that's like not even close to the first time you've done something like that. And again, when he was in jail, so.
Yeah, anytime. I'd love to have him come in and sit down. I think it'd be really cool.
That would be awesome.
And have him come in here and check it out. So
Yeah.
thank you everybody today. Again,
Thank
you can keep donating throughout the day. It's not closed off because we're ending the show.
Yeah.
But make sure to click on that link, put LTL in your donation, and then we're gonna make this right and get this all totaled up for tomorrow. I'll be live tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with retired Mass State Police Todd McGee and Nan Gallagher, attorney, will be sitting next to me here. And we're gonna have a fantastic show. We'll have Meredith on in the beginning of the show. We'll spin the wheel and see who we can give this awesome framed signed off poster of Karen, mugshot poster of Karen Reed to give away. I want to thank everybody today that gave donations and helped move the needle in that defense fund, because look, these lawyers got to eat. Karen's got to eat.
Yeah.
They have to sustain this
All
team.
the experts,
They pay experts to travel
Yep.
in. We need as much love on that side as you can. So everybody have a phenomenal afternoon. I'll see everybody back here live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And thanks to my wonderful guests again today, Lauren DC and Meredith O'Neill. I appreciate everybody. We're going to hit the outro here, and everybody have a phenomenal afternoon. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.